Thanks for joining us today for our forum open house. Um, just want to say that what we'll do together today is a brief review of the RFP process. We'll talk about some key dates and reminders for those, and then we'll have time for Q&A. Want to note that in our Q&A, we won't have time to be able to provide feedback on individual sessions and questions about individual sessions, but we will have time to be able to answer questions about the RFP process or any other process questions. And want to note that we're recording this webinar today, and we will add it to our website. And we'll add the recording to our website so you can go back to review the recording or let folks know where they can watch the recording if they have missed it. So, all right, well, let's get started and feel free to introduce yourselves in the chat if you would like to. And yeah, so this year we will be hosting the 2026 SAFSF Forum in Savannah, Georgia. The dates for the forum are June 25th to the 26th. We'll be staying at the Hyatt Regency Hotel in Savannah, Georgia. So we have our call for proposals is currently open, a request for proposals. Before we get into more of that, just to talk a little bit about what the forum is. It's a unique conference for the full spectrum of funders to foster collaboration, to bring folks together, bring peers, field leaders, practitioners all across the country together around shared mission for equitable and sustainable food and agriculture. This year, as I said earlier, the forum will take place in Savannah, Georgia. And we're really excited to go to the South. And we know that it is important to be in the South. We know this because of issues of land justice, climate change, rural economic development, systems of racism and exclusion, and how all of these converge so intensely in the South. And we know that in order to combat all of this, we need to invest in community-led solutions in food and agriculture in this region because doing that investment in the South is going to impact the rest of the country and also the world. So the forum itself, just to talk a little bit about what the forum is and our goals. We have been hosting annual forums for SAFSF for over 20 years, and we've done this in many, many different locations, but we maintain some of the same goals year after year to build community among diverse capital partners who are focused on food and agriculture, to guide funders' understanding of issues in food, ag, and funding, to inspire collaboration and alignment towards systems change, to highlight local leadership, the context, and community-led solutions that are often overlooked in places in our food system. So for the RFP process, a little bit more about it. So the RFP opened October 1st and will close November 23rd at midnight Pacific Standard Time. So we're seeking proposals for the following session types. Panels or workshops. We have 15 sessions open for a panel or a workshop. They will be 75 minutes each, and they're limited to 6 speakers, including a moderator. We have field days, up to 5 half days and up to 3 full field days. Sessions that are open. So our half day visits are limited to 6 speakers. That includes the moderator. And for full day field visits, we have 7 speakers, including the moderator. So we also have learning dinners This is a time where people can come together over a shared meal and have some programming and discussions. We have 7 sessions for our learning dinners at 90 minutes each. And the same, we are limiting to 6 speakers, including a moderator. And lightning talks this year. We did some lightning talks last year, and we'll do them again this year. And the lightning talks are 15 minutes each, and they're limited to just one speaker. So just to talk a little bit about our forum session themes, um, our themes we're focusing on this year: Black agrarianism in the South, food and farm worker justice, and immigration in the food system, climate, health, and food systems, building sustainable food markets and infrastructure, and food access and food as medicine. And we also are asking, when you submit your application, you can also let us know what funding practices that you are bringing into your submission. So funding practices like participatory and community controlled funding, or equity-based funding, or things like integrated capital strategies or others. And just to say, we welcome proposals from any type of organization, and we're aiming to select a balance of proposals submitted by both funders and non-funders, by SAFSF members and non-members. And I will hand it over to you, Maggie, to talk a little bit more about key dates.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Phoebe. And hey, everyone, I'm Maggie Mascarenas. I'm the Policy Program Manager here at SAFSF, and it's really great to see all of you. We're really excited for the forum. So thanks to Phoebe for giving a quick overview of the themes and the session types. I just wanted to take some time to reiterate a few key dates, and then we'll move into questions. But as Phoebe mentioned, the RFP closes on November 23rd. So in exactly a month from today at midnight Pacific time. We will be notifying everyone by Monday, January 12th, whether or not your submission is accepted. So again, we'll confirm both if your submission is accepted for the forum this year or not by January 12th. Um, and if we do reserve the right to contact you if there are some gaps that we're seeing in the forum program, and may work with you to figure out how we can incorporate your session proposal. So we do some due diligence on the back end there, and we'll be in contact if there's additional opportunities. And additionally, we just ask that if your session is accepted, that you wait to book travel until we confirm exactly when your session will be taking place at the forum. That just helps us kind of do some Tetris on the back end in figuring out when each session will take place. So we just ask that you wait to do that. Usually we finalize the forum program schedule in around early March. So rest assured we'll be in touch with you by then. And then we just wanted to announce that early bird registration for the forum will launch on March 2nd. So that is another date to keep in mind here. So yeah, with that, I will pass it back to Phoebe. All of those dates that I mentioned are also on the RFP webpage that I believe Angie just dropped very helpfully in the chat. So thanks again.
Thank you, Maggie. And I think I forgot to mention I'm Phoebe Gooding, the program director here at SAFSF. So I think we can open it up to questions if anyone has questions about the RFP, or otherwise, I think you could just go ahead and get off mute and ask your questions that way. You could also put questions into the chat. Claire, you want to make a comment?
Yeah,
You have a
I
question?
do. I wanted to make one quick comment. Hi, everyone. Claire Fox. I'm the Executive Director at Sustainable Agriculture and Food System Funders. And for anyone who hasn't attended the conference before, we do get asked a lot who the audience is. And the audience is, as Phoebe alluded to, primarily funders. And that's going to be a mix of both philanthropy and impact investors. We also have some CDFIs, various intermediaries as well. But as Phoebe explained, our overall goal here is to educate and guide funders. So that would be the primary audience. And then I also wanted to add that while we absolutely do want to center and lift up work that's happening in the US South, that is not a hard and fast criteria. So if you would like to feature work in your region, that is relevant and that is welcome and accepted. Many of our members and many of the conference attendees are hailing from different geographies across the country and the world. And they like to learn about what's happening in different geographies, even if their funding is regionally focused or place-based. So I wanted to just offer that little kind of nuance on the regionality component of it.
Thanks, Claire. We have a couple questions that came through the chat. So the first one is, what is the room capacity for the different sessions? So we do have a few different room capacities, but we have, I would say, mostly it's up to 50 people will be what the room capacity is. So that's what you can expect. And then we have another question. If we have more than one idea, would you prefer us to have multiple submissions or reach out to figure out what's the best fit? I think that if you have more than one idea, go ahead and apply and submit them separately through the RFP process, as their own submission. We'll see that the submissions are coming from, maybe the same organization or organizer, and we could reach out to have those conversations around what could be the best fit. But I would say go ahead and submit them separately. Okay, we have another question in the chat. If we host a dinner, how do we estimate the budget we are requesting from the sponsor? That's a good question. I think once we have the submission come through, we will follow up with you on an estimated budget. But I'm not sure if Claire or Angie, if you have a better answer to that question.
I don't think I have a better answer to that question at this time. We will offer a menu of options of places that we've looked at or visited ourselves. We were in Savannah as a whole team this summer and got to try some really awesome restaurants and just get to know the local food scene and different venues. So we will provide that information. It's going to be a range in terms of how costly those spaces are. And maybe Angie, I saw you come off mute. You might have a little bit of a sense of like a ballpark number you could say of what you've seen in years past.
I was going to say the same thing, Claire. I don't necessarily have a
Okay.
ballpark, but yeah, I think it could depend. If you need to set a cap, we could potentially pick a restaurant that had a smaller space. If you're looking to have a larger budget and get more people in, then we can work with you on that too. But I think there could be a variety of options for the learning dinners, the size, the budget, etc.
I saw Norma, your hand raised.
Hi, yeah, I had a question about how many per organization, if we were to write the RFP, were able to come. Is it just one person per organization?
So SAFSF is going to comp tickets at 3 tickets per session, and those are for non-funders only. So we won't comp tickets for funders. If you are selected for the RFP, then as a funder, you would be paying and registering at the member rate. However, 3 non-funders per session will be comped registration only into the forum. Um, so, okay, I know I didn't answer your question yet. So can you repeat the last part of your question?
No, that was it. I just wanted, as non-funders, to know how many of us from the organization, if I write the RFP, are going to be able to attend.
Okay, yes. So it's up to six speakers in terms of, speakers, and then three of them will be comped registration through SAFSF. And just to reiterate, that's registration only, so it's not travel costs, hotel, lodging, etc. Does that answer your question, Norma?
It does. Thank you.
Great. Okay, let's go to Ian, and then we'll come back to the chat in a minute.
Thanks. I have two questions. So first one is, of those up to six speakers, any recommendations or guidance on like the diversity of who you'd like to see, as far as like some, one from the organization, say, a number from community stakeholders on the ground, like any guidance around that?
Yeah, I mean, I think we don't have like, a number that we're going to give you in terms of three and three, but just keep in mind that what we're hoping to bring to this conference and to our forum every year is around diverse perspectives that can bring those pieces to the conversation, so having, folks from different organizations, funders and non-funders, different community leaders that are going to bring different perspectives. So I think that the number will be your choice, but that we do want you to keep it in mind, diversity across different perspectives, and what folks, if they're working on, let's say, policy, that would be, that could be a perspective and voice that can come in, and then other, other maybe programmatic areas.
Mhm.
So, is
Yeah,
that
that's great.
okay?
That's helpful. Thanks.
Okay.
So the other question I had, sorry if I missed this in the application material so far, but is there an opportunity to, if selected, to then provide some like pre-reading or pre-homework or something for those that are attending to learn kind of a foundational knowledge about something before stepping into the workshop?
Mhm. We are using Hoover,
Okay,
and I think we might not have all of the options that Hoover offers. So I think we just have to look into if that I think there's a possibility that those sort of resources could be uploaded into Hoover for folks to be able to check out.
great. Thanks.
Mhm. Great. Okay, let's go to Margarita.
Hi, just curious the if the application is submitted, if there's a best type of organization to be the lead applicant for any of these. I see that the funder pays for travel and any additional tickets like you just named. Um, do you have a sense of, is it stronger for the funder to be the lead or one of the organizations, or does it matter at all?
I don't, you mean in terms of who's filling out the RFP and the organizer on the RFP? Yes, I don't think that it funder or non, it is fine. Maybe whoever's best suited to be able to bring all the information together should probably be the organizer. And yeah, so I think that's fine, either
Okay,
one.
thank you.
Yeah.
And then if selected, are the non-funder presenters invited to stay for that day or other sessions of the conference?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yep. So if selected, the three non-funder speakers will have full registration for the entire conference.
I was just going to add to your first question, Margarita, that if there's a funder involved as a sponsor, a speaker, or otherwise, like some sort of partner on the concept, it would be helpful to know that. So just include that information in the proposal overall.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay, great. So I wanted to go to Fatima's question about the language. Please note that fundraising staff, example, development directors are not able to attend the forum. Is there any flexibility on this? We are a small team and usually send our development team to gatherings like this, or at least our philanthropic partnership people. So you can see that Claire responded. Development staff are welcome to submit the proposal, but not able to attend. So I think, yeah, if I think I would think of it like if this is the sole role in the organization is fundraising and development, then this would not be the conference for you to attend. Um, and but they could help put the RFP together. So also questions around executive directors, they're able and encouraged to attend the conference.
And then Michelle asks about EDs being able to register on their own, or would they have to be invited by a funder or chosen for a session? We will have practitioner tickets available for the conference, as we did this summer. And the process there, it's kind of a two-step process that involves just collecting a little bit of extra information from you about your event, about your organization and the work that you do. It's not an application, it's a very light questionnaire. And after we get a chance to look at that, we approve your ticket to attend the conference.
Just also want to say, we're really excited to be in the South, to be in Georgia, and we'd love for you all to share the RFP widely. So please, anyone you know that would be interested in submitting a session, please share with them.
Phoebe, there's a question here from Alicia. I'm going to verbalize.
Great.
The idea we would include the idea we have would include a couple intermediary organizations in movement. Example, we have a small direct firm support fund that we re-grant, but we are not formally a funder. Would an intermediary of that sort qualify for the covered registration? So here's my answer to that. If the intermediary organization is solely dedicated as a funding organization, they would be considered a funder. If the intermediary is a member of SAFSF, they are a funder. But if the organization if the funding program is only one part of what the nonprofit does, for example, a re-grantor. So if this small direct farmer support fund is just one program in the context of other nonprofit work that the organization does, then we would consider them a non-funder. So it just sort of depends. I hope that is clear enough. Zara asks, for choosing a session type, will SAFSF contact us if another session type happens to be a better fit post-submission? Yes, we will. Yeah, we appreciate the flexibility. As Maggie said, there's some Tetris to this on the back end of scheduling. So it is absolutely possible that we might reach out and say, we love this concept. Would you be open to making it a different format?
Thanks. And so I guess adding to that, also a question of like if you get two proposals that are very similar and you see they might be complementary to combine them, is that something you consider and do? And then for both of those, should all of us like note that flexibility on our application, or is that something you would do internally and kind of be in touch?
I think, yes, we will, there will be some curation on our end that we do. Absolutely. So if we do see some similar proposals coming through, then we could reach out to folks around maybe combining or seeing how they could fit. So yes, so there is definitely some curation on our end that will happen, I'm sure. And I think if you could note, we have some at the very bottom of the submission form, there's an open space for you to add anything that you would like us to know. So if there's anything that you want us to know around flexibility, etc., then feel free to add that there. Okay, just to reiterate this question in the chat, in terms of perspective for the sessions, is there space for proposals utilizing an internationalist lens, bringing together agroecology efforts in the US and in the global South? And Clara answered already, yes, absolutely. Although, the funders that we're working with are majority nationally focused in the US. Of course, we do have some funders in our network that are also globally focused. And we also know that, that we're not living in just a bubble. So we do need to be thinking internationally and aware. Absolutely. And also appreciate just making the connections there too. Again, please share the proposal far and wide. And if you have any questions, you can feel free to reach out to me, and I'll drop my email into the chat. It's phoebe@safsf.org. And if there are no other questions, then we'll close out, but we're really, really grateful for all of you showing up and bringing your questions. Thanks.